Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to All the Mods Expert Remastered. So, since the last episode, I've done quite a bit of automation and stuff. I have automated the Slice and Splice, just one recipe, and that is the Z-Logic controller. I've also automated some stuff in the powered furnace, as well as the alloy smelter, all just basic stuff. I also crafted an item repairer, and I did this because our mutated frames were pretty close to being broken. And of course they gave us that mending book and said we could do it that way, but item repair, we can just pump RF into this, throw them in there, and they repair. So, a lot easier, I think, to do it that way. And then over here, let's see. Oh, funny story, you'll actually see there's a death right there, and I left it here just so you guys could see it. So, this happened, like, my girlfriend woke up, and I usually make her breakfast, you know. And so I went AFK for a minute to go make her breakfast. And I was just like, I don't know, I was standing like down in here or something. And I came back and I had drowned in my fountain. I don't know how, but like, I guess I fell down in there or something and just drowned. No clue. No clue whatsoever. Over here, I did start automating the arc furnace. So right now there's two recipes in here, and that is osmiridium and steel. Okay, so those two recipes are automated now. And if we pop up here, the way that I did it is we have on this side iridium and coke dust come in this side on a filter, and then on this side osmium and iron come in. And then of course I have a chest here with an importer beneath it, and then I have an importer on the back that pulls in the slag byproduct. So, and then over here, I've actually got, if we tear this up, our coal coke drawer, I moved it over here because I actually needed space for iridium, because we have iridium coming in automatically now, and I'll show you how that is in just a second. But I moved this over here, and then I've got exporters exporting anthracite coal, and then I have fluid conduits pulling the creosote to a trash can because we have so much creosote already being produced, and then items get pumped into this compacting drawer that has an external storage on it. So right now we're out of anthracite coal, but we've got quite a bit of coal coke built up. So, and I haven't automated these yet. I'm going to be doing that soon. The squeezer over here is automated. If we pull this up, we slip back here, there's a crafter that feeds into the blue import for this. And then over here, well, probably be easier to see actually from right over here. There is an importer, because the there's an output right there, but that's for fluids. This one right here is for items. So I've got the importer there pulling the HOP dust out. And my pug's laying like right next to my feet, and she's snoring. So if you hear a weird sound, that's her. So just a heads up. Over here, I've added additional crafters, and we have more recipes automated. Just a bunch of stuff. And you can see right here, iridium has now taken the spot of coal coke. So we do have a drawer for iridium. And then if we pop up here to the B room, I have added in thermionic fabricator. Now I haven't fully automated this because I have to input sand or glass or whatever, and you have to input that through the top. You can't do it from the side that the crafter's on. So for example, right now I have an electronic circuit recipe that pumps in quartz resonators, glowstone exciters, printed circuit boards, and the LV wire coil. Right now I have to manually put the sand in and do the lever and all that stuff. I'm going to change this up. I'm in the middle of automating some things. So sand, of course, sand and glass have to be pumped in from the top. So I'm going to do like just exporters that keep it filled. And I'll do that once we set up our sand generator. And then right down here I have an infinite water source from pressure pipes. I crafted one of those up, and oh, and I automated all the mechanism stuff too. Forgot to mention that. So all that stuff's automated. And then right here, which actually I could change this to insert. Ender fluid conduit pumps the water out. I've got an ender conduit that pumps it up to our, this carpenter with the water. And then I also have an external storage set to fluid, so our system has water in it. So really, if I want to set up other stuff for that, I can, that involves water, I can just plug it up to our refined storage system. And then over here, I've added a powered furnace, and this has copper dust, iron dust, pulverized aluminum, and pulverized iridium, which is coming from our bees. So, and then over here, if you take a look at all this gold dust and osmium dust. This is being produced by our bees. And all this gold dust was over the course of like, I don't know, 2 hours maybe. Those bees produce a ton of gold. Over here, I've moved the redstone bees to an industrial apiary and added production upgrades because I was getting low on redstone and I wanted to kind of speed that up a little bit. So they do have one production upgrade. I'll probably add more later. And then we also have copper bees. We have lapis bees. We have clay bees. And then over here, I've started another batch of apiaries. This is where the real good ones are. We have gold bees. We have iron bees. Aluminum bees. Quartz bees. We have one diamond bee. I'm going to add another one on the other side. These have to have a diamond block underneath them because they have that specialty produce, which is diamond fragments. Which is ore dictionaried as diamond nuggets. So they don't take any kind of special processing like the emerald ones do. And then I have iridium bees and osmium bees. So osmium and iridium and osmiridium, all that stuff is now super easy to get. So, and then over here, I've started bringing these water wheels over, but yeah, I've got to finish that up and on the other side. But the reason I stopped was I was getting kind of low on steel and I didn't want to use up all of our steel. But then I automated the arc furnace and I just didn't get back over there to do more of it. So, and the steel recipe, I actually have an ore dictionary because the arc furnace makes the immersive engineering, or not immersive engineering, but the industrial craft steel. And I've got steel from what steel is this? It's immersive engineering steel. Okay, this block looked a little bit weird. Yeah, that's IC2 block, but it's immersive engineering ingots. I don't know. It makes no sense because I thought immersive engineering had its own steel block right here, block of steel, but it's giving the IC2. I don't know. Don't ask me. I have no clue. Anyways, and I think that's the main things that I've done. There's some other miscellaneous things, but anyways. So today we are going to be working on advanced generators. And I've actually been prepping vibrant alloy. Okay, if we go down here and we take a look, I've ordered quite a bit of vibrant alloy a bit back. We have 183, and technically I could go ahead and order like another 40. Oh no, I can't. I'm low on ender pearls. I think that's why I quit doing it, because ender pearls aren't automated yet. Like, I'm having to manually farm them. And I should probably actually farm these up. I need to get another farming station made. I'll do that between this episode and next. And I'm going to get that Maddock that we have running right now. I'm going to finish getting that up to Unbreakable and then do another Unbreakable Maddock. So, those just take a little bit, but I'm about to the point where I can just order capacitors. And then I can make more capacitor banks and it'll be a little bit quicker to... The main reason I don't like doing it is because I'm using that capacitor bank. So I don't really have like a spare one. So, oh, and let me actually remove this death now that I showed it to you guys. Alright, so for advanced generators, I went ahead and prepped a crusher and a pressurized reaction chamber. The pressurized reaction chamber was, I'd say, the only thing that was really kind of expensive. I mean, the crusher is super cheap. Just requiring... Oops. Oh. Just requiring this stuff. I think I want to say we've crafted one before, but maybe not. Maybe not in this pack. But the pressurized reaction chamber, though, took an enrichment chamber, which, of course, we've had to craft these. I think that's my third one now. Because I used one for the, purification chamber, I think it was, or something. And then I had to get one for personal use, and then we got another one for that. By the way, just as a quick note, when it comes to automating the mechanism stuff, the main thing to note is, like, for example, the metallurgic infuser, make sure you set aside for infuse purple, output dark blue, and input red. Or, yeah, input, output, and infuse. So what I've got for these is I've actually got a crafter back here that pumps the items into this chest. The items get extracted on the black line, And then what happens is, like, the crafter for both of those is kind of back away from everything. Or for the metallurgic infuser mainly. But I have the compressed obsidian, redstone, and diamond coming in from the right-hand side. And then the back is where I input the stuff that's being infused, right? The iron, the osmium, the alloys, and all that stuff. So, the enrichment chamber is pretty straightforward because it just needs an input and output. But the metallurgic infuser is kind of special. And you have to make sure and set your side configs on those. So, anyways. So we got ourselves a crusher and a pressurized reaction chamber. Now we're going to go ahead and set this thing up. And I am going to need a filter just really quickly. There we go. And let's see. Oh, by the way, after last episode, so I was out of iron. And I went mining and got a little bit of iron, but then like it wasn't even 100 iron. And then I let the bees, I got into the iron bees, and now we have 660. And they haven't been running that long, in truth. Alright, so we got ourselves a filter, we got item conduits, we have, actually I want the ender conduits. I've got some of those somewhere, I thought, or am I totally out of them? I might be totally out of them. Let's go ahead and get like 16 of those. And we're going to go ahead and set this part up, and then we're going to do the advanced generators, which is why I prepped all that vibrant alloy, which we'll get into that in just a moment. But what I want to do is the drawer controller that's back here. This right here. Let's go ahead and pull this stuff up. And I'm going to put just item conduit setting right there that are going to pull out of this. And we're going to say extract is always active. I'm going to put a filter in this, and we are going to filter it and say that you're going to pull out apples and saplings. Because both of these can be used to make biofuel. And I will say that adding this part, I mean, we can still expand on the creosote and the coal production for the farm. But apples and saplings are going to produce the most power. And the most efficient power. I mean, it's crazy OP, Mekanism is. So, just be prepared. Our power troubles are going to be long gone. In truth. So, and then long term, we'll probably get into solar panels from environmental tech or rainbow generators. And or, you know, that's my plan at the moment, is those. I've done rainbow generator setups in my Direwolf pack, my Direwolf 20 pack, a while back, but okay, so what we're going to do is let's see, the crusher. Let's go ahead and set this thing up like, we'll have it setting right here is fine. And I'm going to go ahead and clip off, let's grab this, go ahead and clip off that connection. And then let's plug this thing up with some power. And let me go ahead and bring the item line up. So the apples and saplings just need to go to the crusher, and they get crushed and make biofuel. So we'll just plug them into there. We're going to say insert. And then we're going to say side config. Let's go ahead and set the back side, which is this. We're going to say that's input. And you can see it's pulling in saplings right now. Technically, I could do another crusher. Honestly, it's not going to matter because this is going to be such OP power generation and so efficient that it's not going to run through this like very fast at all. But long term, we may add speed upgrades, or we can add crushing factories. Honestly, with Mekanism, there's not as much reason to just keep expanding on the number of machines because you have access to these factories, which are pretty powerful. Because they basically, in one block space, there's like 7 crushers if you have an elite crushing factory. So, alright, so that's running. I did add speed upgrades and efficiency upgrades to the Mekanism machines upstairs. Well, mainly the metallurgic infuser and the purification chamber, or enrichment chamber, I mean. Okay, so that's making biofuel for us, and then what I want to do is we're going to set the side config on the left to output, and we'll say, we'll go ahead and say auto eject is on. And I'm not going to make a buffer of these, of the biofuel, I don't think, because it's mainly used for biogenerators. There's a couple metallurgic infuser recipes, and then the PRC, which is what we're going to be using. So then what we'll do is we'll set the PRC down, like right there. We'll go ahead and break off that connection. And we're going to say that you input from the right-hand side, and you can see it's pulling in biofuel. And let's go ahead and run some power over to this. And I guess I can go ahead and break off that cable there. So that's getting biofuel into it. And then we just have to plug up some liquids to it real quick. So let's go get that stuff. I actually forgot to prep one thing, so let me go prep that real quick. Okay, I actually ended up prepping up a few things. I went ahead and prepped up a lot of the stuff that we're going to need for our advanced generator. And we don't actually need that. I was making it earlier, but I forgot they added, back when I first set this up, like forever ago, it was like literally my first time in 1.10. There wasn't a gas intake valve for the advanced generators, so I had to use the rotary condensator to change the stuff over to fluid. But now there's a gas intake valve, so I don't actually think we need the drum. So, but I did make up an ultimate gas tank, so we're going to use that instead. We're going to use gas, and then I also did advanced pressure tubes. They can actually go higher, but there's not a whole lot of point in going higher, I don't think. Not for general use. So this is just a second tier of those. But anyways, let's go ahead and set this thing up. So, oh, and I prepped speed upgrades. If we take a look at the upgrades, I did 8 energy and 4 speed in both of these things, which I'll show you how to add those in just a second. But anyways, let's go ahead and pop back here. And what I want to do, let me actually throw down a torch so it's not so dark. Okay, I want to set a singularity tank, and we'll have it setting, PRC is right there. We'll just set the singularity tank like right there is fine, actually. And then we're going to put an exporter right there, and we're going to set this to fluids and export water. Okay, so that's going to start exporting water into our singularity tank, and then let's go ahead and just plug up some fluid conduits. And in the PRC, I'm going to set the side config input on the backside, and then we'll set this to extract always active. So that's going to start filling up the PRC with water, and of course that's water from our infinite water source. It's over there in the B building, or underneath the B building. Alright, and then I need to also pump in hydrogen. If you take a look at biofuel in the PRC, we need to pump in hydrogen to get our ethylene. And how much use is there for substrate in this pack? HDPE pellets makes... Oh yeah, that's right, we need them for the super teleportation frame. We're going to get that. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to set up an electrolytic separator, and we're going to put this guy setting... it's going to be just hidden back behind this... Okay, I just crashed. For whatever reason, I just randomly crashed. So anyways, it was something about Tesla-cating blocks. I don't know. I've never seen that error before, but anyways. So let's go ahead then, and we're going to set up our electrolytic separator. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to have this setting... Like, what if we put it right here? And this one, I'm just going to let this be hidden behind the wall. And that's fine by me. That's A-okay. And let's see. We're going to go ahead and set the right side oxygen to dump excess. Hydrogen on the left-hand side we are going to be keeping. And, oh, my pick broke. I knew it was getting close. I knew it was getting fairly close this side. My forge is all the way over there. I'm going to make it just another, like, tool station. They're cheap. And you'll notice this is all kicking on because I had the arc furnace running pretty heavy. Uh-oh. That's not good. That's fine, though. We're about to fix that little problem there. Alright, so let's go ahead and pump a little bit of power over into this as well. So power comes in right there. There we go. It's building up. And it's going to start breaking that water down and producing some oxygen for us. And, well, I guess I'm not going to be producing power right this second. And I'll tell you what, the upgrades, let's go ahead and add in the energy upgrades. This makes it a bit more efficiency, or a bit more efficient. So we should probably go ahead and do that. And then these advanced pressure tubes, let's go ahead and we're going to run these over. Can I insert from the top, please? I guess I have to do it from the side. Yeah, looks like I have to do it from the side. That's fine. So we're going to input on that side. And then we'll just go ahead and run this. I don't want that to connect. we're just going to run that over into the PRC, and it's going to start making substrate and ethylene, which is what we want. And I've already added upgrades to this. Sadly, there is no gas upgrade. You can't add gas upgrades to this. Because I guess because it uses half liquid and half gas. Of course, hydrogen is a gas. And then let's see. Can I don't know if I can extract out the top. Well, no, I know I can't. So I may have to have, well, can I do the bottom as output? Let me go ahead and pull this off for just a minute. Nope, can't do that either. Okay, now wait a second. Oh, I really need to get this power sorted. I didn't think we were having power problems, but then when I ran that arc furnace, it was just like, zoop, like sucked all the power out. Because I was running it with a lot of gold, like the majority of the gold that we had built up. So it was kind of, it was kind of destroying my RF just a bit. Okay, that's not pumping in anymore. Did I not set this, there we go. I want to make sure that's pumping in biofuel from the crusher. I'm going to have it insert the water and the energy through the top, and we'll pump the gas out the back. That'll be fine. I'm surprised this stuff is like hanging in there right now. Yeah, look at my my power monitor. It's just like, bloop. It just drained it off. Like, it just killed it. Okay, let's, we'll say inserts here. And energy goes here. Okay, and then we should be able to pull the gas out of the back. I guess not. We'll say the back side is an input, and then the right side is going to be an output. I think that's about the best I can do at this point. Yeah. Okay, so that should work. And then we should be able to put advanced pressure tubes right there. And you can see, well, they should pull the ethylene out, but they're not. I'll tell you what, I'm going to put our ultimate gas tank right there. That thing should accept gas. And then if I was to put pressure tube right there, will it pull? It's not pulling the ethylene out. Why in the world? Okay, well, let's try making the wrench from mechanism. And then maybe we can have it pull that stuff out. Let's see. We want the configurator. This thing right here. Let me pop upstairs. Let me make this thing. Because we can set the pipes to extract. Because that's how you do the like extraction and stuff within mechanism. So maybe that'll sort it for us. I hope. There we go. Configurator. And this thing does require some power. So let's just pop up here. Charge this thing up real quick. Like, I don't recall ever having this issue with the PRC, but suddenly we are. And I am going to need to make a drawer to, just a void drawer to store up substrate. Alright, so what we want to do is we're just going to right-click, I'm sorry, shift right-click right here. We're going to set this to, we're going to say push and pull. There we go. Now we're pulling ethylene out of there. There we go. That was a big headache. I wonder if I was to rotate this. Okay, I still can't do that. That's kind of bizarre. I don't remember the PRC being that way, but it may have been. I don't know. Mechanism is very side-specific with its stuff, generally. Okay, so then another thing I want to do is I want to set the front side to output. And then we'll set this to output. Doesn't really matter because this is set to pull, so it's going to pull regardless, but we'll just set it up to output just for the sake of it. And then the, no, not right there. Well, I guess, no. Well, yeah, I guess technically I could have it there. But I don't want it there. I'll make up my mind one day, I promise. Let's see, do I have any space for drawers? Kind of, right down here. I could put a drawer with substrate. I've still got to put external storages on the back of that. But yeah, let's go make a drawer real quick. And we're going to put substrate in it because I can use substrate for basically mechanism's version of plastic, more or less. So I wouldn't mind having like a little bit lying around, but I don't really need a whole bunch of it. And then I'll end up putting a void upgrade in it. And we'll go ahead and get ourselves a void upgrade so that we've got it. And I'm going to put external storages on the back of this and the red coal. I will. Alright, let's go ahead and get ourselves a little bit of the substrate. And we'll drop this down right there. And I don't have my key on me. I'll go get that in a bit. And then let's go ahead and plug this up. And I guess we're going to have the... This is such a mess of cables back here. But I'm using like transfer nodes. I need to get rid of the transfer nodes, but at the same time I'm just kind of like, Like it works perfectly fine without getting rid of them, so... We'll just run this up and over. And I'm just now getting to the point where conduits aren't expensive to make. And we'll plug a conduit up right there and say extract is always active. And I need more conduit. And there we go, we'll just run that back. And the substrate's going to start getting pulled out. Let's go ahead and take our void upgrade and drop it on that. So if that fills up, it's just going to void any excess. And then we've got ethylene building up. We've got 13,000 millibuckets. It doesn't sound like a lot, but the thing is, this generator produces like 6,000 plus RF per tick. Or per millibucket, I mean. Sorry. So every one of these millibuckets is going to produce a massive amount of power. So then what we need to do is, it is time to set up our actual generator. And there is a couple small things that we're going to have to make. I crafted most of the basic things, but we'll have to actually make the turbines and the controller. So, okay, let's go. So far what I've made is an advanced power capacitor. If you notice, there's a lot of details here on the tooltip. It says capacity 5 million RF. That's how much it can store. It's basically like internal storage for the generator. So 5,000, this one is the second tier, which is double layer capacitors. There is a third tier, which technically I could probably craft it with Lapotron crystals. I don't think I can craft, yeah, I need Ludicrite before I can craft octatic capacitors. But honestly, the Lapotron route is a whole lot easier. I've got fuel tanks. This is basically internal fuel storage. So we're going to be storing up ethylene. I've got a gas intake valve. There's two different intake valves. There's fluid and there's gas. So depending on if you're using fluid or gas with this, you are going to have to use the appropriate intake valve. Flux generator basically turns this into flux power. Now, if you look at advanced generators, there's actually a number of routes that you can go. There is the flux generator, which produces RF, but there's also EU producer, so there's low voltage, medium, high, extreme, and insane. We're going to be using one of these setups later on for EU production because it's actually way better than a reactor. That's one of the big problems I think with IC2 is the reactors are piddly. Like, they're horrible. And they don't really live up to the amount of work that goes into them, and it doesn't even like live up to a reactor like in real life. Like, they're just awful. And then there's the Tesla generator, which produces Tesla power. Forge energy emitter, which produces Forge energy. But these two, if I recall, Tesla and Forge are both interchangeable with RF, I think. I can't remember. I just use RF. RF and EU. And then in addition, I have got gas mix compressor and fuel air mixer. These are basically for efficiency. So you can say the fuel air mixer increases fuel efficiency to 135%. And then gas mix compressor bumps it up to 185%. You have to have a fuel air mixer installed, though, for the gas mix compressor to work. Now, both of these are limited to 1, whereas like the flux generator is 6, gas intake valve is 5, fuel tank is 10, power capacitors is 10. If you take a look at the turbines, which is what you use to actually produce the power, you can have up to 50 of those. And there's different ones, like there's Enderium, there's steel. They all have different, well, they all don't have different, because like Enderium, Vibrant Alloy, and Advanced Alloy are all 500 RF per tick. Oh, and Manulin. Those are like the top tier. But Advanced Alloy is the IC2 version, so you've got Advanced Alloy from IC2. It's actually fairly expensive route to go. I think Vibrant Alloy is probably the cheapest, in truth. Or Manulin, depending. If I had Cobalt and Ardite Bs, I'd probably go Manulin, but maybe. I don't know. Vibrant Alloy is pretty easy. So anyways, we're going to have to craft up a bunch of these Vibrant Turbine Blades. And so, like I said, I went ahead and prepped up a lot of vibrant alloy. I'm going to go ahead and make like 60 of those. And then we can make vibrant turbine rotors. So we'll go ahead and get, there's 7 of those. Let me make 4 more of these. There's 8. And then we have to make the actual turbine block, which takes a bunch of these iron frames. I'm going to go ahead and just make a stack. There they are. Took a second to craft that. By the way, all the stuff that I crafted off camera is pretty straightforward. I'm not going to go too much into it. It's basically just a lot of pistons, iron, some redstone. There was a little bit of steel on one of the things. I can't remember what it was, but it was only like 2 pieces. It was very minute. And then the capacitors took basic and double layer capacitors, which I taught my system how to make, sort of. It doesn't know how to make like silver clumps and empowered Restonia yet, and empowered pallies, but it knows how to make most of the stuff. And this iron tubing crafts 16 at a time. I've actually got some in there, but I'll go ahead and craft a little bit more. And then the redstone iron wiring, I'm going to go ahead and just make. And then vibrant turbines, okay, there's 8 of them. So each of these produce 500 RF per tick, so right there is already 4,000 RF per tick. And we can add up to 50 of those, which running that ethylene, it can totally keep up with like max number of those pretty easily. Actually, max number on multiples, in truth. Man, she is snoring so much right now. The pug, she's like dreaming or something. I don't know. She's like always sleeping though. Alright, so we got those, and I'm probably going to make some more. I don't know where we're at on vibrant alloy. I've got 111. Yeah, okay. Let's go ahead and craft up another stack of those. And another 8 of those. There we go. 16 of those. Sounds good. And then back to advanced generators. There's one other thing that we're going to need. This is probably the most involved, is the gas turbine controller. Most of this stuff is fairly straightforward. I'm going to need a little bit more of those, as well as a little bit more of these. But then the control circuit, it requires intricate circuit boards, electrical steel. I've already got, well, I've got intricate circuit boards. They don't work with NEI because the NEI doesn't have the fits for electron tubes. It's different information, different data, so it doesn't work properly. But then we're also going to need a Franken zombie, which is Z-Logic controller with a soul vial with a zombie in it. That's why I have this soul vial. I went out and caught a zombie when it was dark. And we're going to have to run that through a soul binder. So we are going to have to get ourselves one of these. Let me order. Ooh, I may have to go hunt Enderman, which really isn't too bad. I just got to pop into the end and go kill them. Let me go ahead and order Solarium. And then we're also going to want to get ourselves a machine chassis, which... Okay, I'm missing some silver clumps. That's fine. I've got to get silver clumps automated. It's mainly like the electrolytic separator, which we have water, but it takes that oxygen. Okay, so I really just need an Enderman head right now. Alright, so I'm going to fly to the end, and I have to go kill some Endermen until we get an Enderman head. Shouldn't take that long, I don't think. Okay, I actually grinded up 4 of them, just so we've got them, because we'll end up using them for Ender Resonators, maybe. So in the event that we needed them. I mean, other than Ender Resonators and Soulbinder itself, there's not a whole lot that we need them for, but... Alright, there we go, and let's get our Soulbinder. Let's get it. There we go. And then our Z-Logic controller. And we're just going to set this up like... Well, I guess it should probably go in the machine room, right? We'll just put it right here for right now. This room is such a mess. Like, I'm slowly shifting all the machines, and it's going to be like 2 wide all the way down, and then like 2 wide all the way down. So, it's kind of what we're moving towards. Alright, so, Z-Logic controller and Zombie Soul. I have XP, but thanks. Yeah, there we go. It's that bug where whenever you come back from the end, it like doesn't display your XP. Alright, Franken Zombie and Solvile. Easy enough. And that's really all that we need for the controller, which is pretty much super OP crazy power. That's what this is, so it'll definitely fix our power issues right now. Assuming I can get it crafted. Wouldn't that be great if the power went out like right now? There we go. Control circuits. And then if we take a look at advanced generators. There we go. Gas turbine controller. Okay, now the power can go out and I don't even care. I don't think I need anything else from it at the moment. Okay, so the nice thing about these advanced generators are they are completely open multi-blocks to however you want to set them up. It doesn't matter. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our gas intake valve setting, we'll put it like right slightly above that. Grab that. So gas intake valve is going to set, well, actually, do I want it right there? No, not really. I don't want it sticking out. I want it setting right here. This may get moved. I'm going to play around with this and see. I might end up moving it. I don't know. We'll see. So gas intake valve is going to set right there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set up our controller. And we'll just put this setting like right there. And you'll notice this all connects. It says the machine is incomplete. It requires at least one turbine. Okay, well then we're going to take and set up our fuel tanks, like right there. And we're going to put our flux generator setting right there. And that's where power actually comes out of. So then what we'll do is we'll have interfluid conduit, or energy conduit, my bad. We'll have it setting there and we'll just bring power out. And I'm not going to plug this one up for redstone control. You can. But the thing is, this ethylene is going to go so far. Like, I want this to be, like, our primary power source. I'm still going to run creosote, too, because, like, otherwise, like, coal backs up. But creosote will back up, so that's not a problem. It's down right now, but it will back up. And then we're going to put our advanced power capacitor right there. And then we're going to do, in the center, we're going to do our fuel air mixer and our gas mix compressor. So right now, that's what it looks like up there. And that's what this like upper section is going to be, is like a super advanced generator. And then all we have to do is lay out our turbines. So there we go. That's what it looks like right now. And it still needs more turbines. We're going to go for full capacity. So if we open this up, you can see there is 16 connected vibrant turbines. So of course, that tells us that we have room for another 34 in this. You can see at peak performance, it'll produce 8,000 RF per tick. Peak fuel consumption, it has 185% fuel efficiency. Current production tells you how much it's producing at the moment. This tells you like how many millibuckets per tick it's consuming. And then, or that's peak fuel consumption, my bad. And this is current fuel consumption. So that's what it is currently producing. And then we can clear internal buffers and output configuration if we want to set, you know, different outputs. Like right now, red output is right over here. This is that conduit connector. All right, and this is your buffer of how much fuel you have in here. So in our case, it's going to be ethylene. And right here, this is your RF storage. So you'll notice it has 100,000 by default. And then adding that capacitor gave us another 5 million on top of that. So, and that's pretty much all there is to these. And the nice thing is, like, right now I've got it all flat. So we kind of got like a wall of a turbine right there. And I need to bring that pillar up a bit more. But anyways, to get the 50 turbines, I can also add in turbines like behind this as well. Because I'm not going to get 50. I've only got room for like, what, 12 more right here. So I can stick some in the back. And it doesn't have to be square or anything. It can be just laid out however. You can literally make like a 50 high, 1 block wide tower and it'll work. So, if you so desire. Alright, so I'm going to bring the... no, I'm sorry. No, not there. I don't want that. Is this all backed up? No, it is not getting hydrogen at present. Oh, it doesn't have power. You know what? I think I disconnected the power. Yay me. There we go. Produce me more hydrogen, please. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's got ethylene. Let's go ahead and pump this ethylene out. I'm going to set the top of this to output. And then we'll just plug this up. Ta-da-dun. And there we go. Now it's got ethylene. You can see it's consuming presently 2.2 millibuckets per tick. And look at the power. It's skyrocketing. Right? And if we take a look at our capacitor bank, it's filled now. Like, we were just having problems with power, and now it's filled. At least I think it was probably still empty. I don't know. But this thing, I mean, this thing produces a massive amount of power. 8,000 RF per tick, and we can get it up to a good, what, 25,000 RF per tick? Which is pretty good power for this cheap. I mean, it's literally only consuming 2.2 millibuckets per tick of this liquid ethylene. So, I mean, if we take a look right here, it should be gaining liquid ethylene way faster than it's consuming it. Yeah. And like right now, it's stopped. It's barely having to turn on to produce, you know, the necessary power. It's pretty OP. And it's not even like half full speed at the moment. So, and then I'm just gonna, I mean, look at this, look at that. Zoom, like, give me power. If we look at like an hour, like, okay, well, oops. An hour, that's where we dropped off, and that's where we started the reactor. Just like, what? Like super power generation. And of course, this is all still from the tree farm, so I'm honestly, I'm barely using the coal production side of this. I mean, this thing, I've got it set right now to turn on. If this gets below 90% full, it'll turn on. I mean, you could say these are starting to build back up. Like, these things are really having to work. I mean, they're not bad, and they really did what I wanted them to for a while. I mean, they're producing 240 RF per tick. Now, technically, we can make them faster. I have an efficiency upgrade in there, or I mean, 2 efficiency upgrades. And then just 1 output upgrade. They could be a lot faster, but I like the efficiency side of things, I guess. But this is the big part of the setup. The apples and the saplings making that is kind of what we were really, really building up to. Because now we have this super turbine. And I'm probably going to end up adding a second super turbine. Because, I mean, this isn't going to be able to... I mean, look at the liquid ethylene. It's barely touching it. Like 1.1 millibucket per tick on occasion. Not even like every second or two. It's like on occasion it'll consume a millibucket. Because to give you an idea, it's at peak speed. If it was running 8,000 RF per tick, let's go, it would only be consuming 2.2 millibuckets per tick. This thing, which I feel like that's still a bit high. Because I think unless the configs could be changed in this pack. I know generally it's only like, it produces like 6,000 RF per millibucket at the baseline 110% efficiency, and then if you add in the two upgrades, it takes it up to like 8,000 something. But anyways, that's fine. I don't care. It's still producing massive power, and it's producing way more ethylene than what we're actually consuming. So, and we could technically speed this up further if we so desired. Actually, you know what? I never added the speed upgrades to this. This is, I think, the part that's really slowing it down. So let's dump those speed upgrades in there. And you can have 8 of every upgrade. I think muffling you can only have like 1, right? Or does it? I can't remember. I don't usually use the muffling upgrades, but okay. Now it's generating liquid ethylene faster. Oh, is it making... I wonder why it's making... It's actually making liquid ethylene? Are you serious? Because I'm pumping it in as a gas. I guess it's turning it into liquid once it gets in there. I don't know. Because I'm not running it through a rotary condensator, which is quite interesting. Because we're actually just pumping out ethylene as a gas. It's coming into here, it's being stored as a gas, and then it's going into here as a gas. But it's becoming liquid ethylene. I mean, it's even going through the gas intake valve. But it's becoming liquid ethylene. Huh. But anyways, that's yeah, that's advanced generators. I'm gonna keep adding on to that, you know, adding additional turbines and stuff like that just to boost the power up. But like I said, I mean, it's gonna be producing plenty of power for us. But anyways, I know it's about wrapping up point for this episode. So next episode, we're gonna continue on. Now we've got the power to run environmental tech. So now that that's out of the way, next episode we're actually going to start working on putting together some environmental tech stuff, which I'm super excited about. Super excited about. And yeah, we'll start getting the stuff together for that. We are going to have to do some slight things, mainly for the what is it? The laser cores, these teleposition reagents we're going to have to get, or we can go with the teleportation cores. Either one of these would work. I don't know. I mean, we'd have to get teleposers, which are tier 4. Whereas the teleportation core, I'm going to be making some of those. We can actually start making those next episode, because we're going to need them for teleportation. So we might actually just go with the teleportation core. I don't know for sure. We'll go with one of them. Also, Touchstone of Midas. We're going to need molten cores. Not a big deal. Blocks of gold, which now we have gold bees. And then we're going to have to get into a little bit of calculator, and then a bit of rock hounding, which this stuff I'm actually probably just going to do off camera, the rock hounding stuff, because it's like 5 gold, 3 copper, and a silver gets rose gold. It's super simple. Green gold is gold, silver, copper, and cadmium, which we've gotten cadmium before. White gold is gold, silver, copper, and manganese. So it's all pretty straightforward for the different gold types. And since we're going to be making a bunch of that stuff anyways, I may go ahead and just go with the teleportation core. So we'll get into teleportation next episode, and we'll start putting... Actually, we've got like most of this stuff. So we might actually put together our first environmental tech multi-block next episode. Which, I mean, realistically, with bees, we could just skip environmental tech if we so desired, because our bees are bringing in, like, so much stuff, and... I mean, I don't even have all the bees yet, but I still want to get into environmental tech. I love those multi-blocks and stuff, so. And we might use some solar panels in like a always day dimension or something later on if we need additional power, which we might once we hit maybe Draconic Evolution or something. So. But yeah, here soon we are going to be gunning down a bit of the last chapters of ATM. I need to finish up that tinkering tab, because it's all like little minute things. But yeah, we'll be starting on this stuff pretty soon, and we'll probably start with this right here, getting our octuple compressed cobblestone. It's actually not going to take too long, the route that we're going to do, I don't think, with it. We got quite a bit of it stockpiled, so. But anyways, we'll get into that stuff next episode, or, you know, the next stage of our advancement next episode, which will be environmental tech, resource miner, and then we'll probably do... we'll do the resource miner, the ore miner, and then set up like a ore processing system. And then we'll probably do nanobots. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button. And go ahead and subscribe if you're not already, to stay updated with when new videos come out. And I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys then.